what I like about it is he's descriptive.
Yep.
And part of my thing has always been details. This picture in my head,
Right.
and it's like, wow.
There's a bigger world outside the immediate focal point.
Yeah, and it
And you
has
do that.
multiple meanings.
You do that in Rewind, too. Right? There's always another world behind where you are. This is the first urban troubadour, but what you add to Whitman, you write Whitmanian lines that have all the humility about the city that Whitmans have, and all the kind of energy to process the city, this detail of the city that Whitman has.
In this clip, we see living hip-hop legend Nas sitting down with a Harvard professor discussing exactly how Nas comes up with rap lyrics that help describe not only the verbal science of how to rap, but as we'll see Nas describe in further detail in a second, how to rap like Nas by lyrically creating a universe for listeners to inhabit. Nas does this by using small details to ironically create big descriptions and weaving those details into a cohesive storyline. However, before we take you into the universe of Nas's lyrics, we need to first set the table and establish where Nas's influences come from, what he did in rap that nobody had done before, and how he ironically uses those new ideas to make even better songs. With step number 1, establish the character. From his very first album, Illmatic, widely considered one of the greatest rap albums of all time, Nas would establish characters in his raps, much like a film, novel, or play, most notably starting with his own character or persona. Let's look at some lines from the song Represent on Illmatic. They call me Nas, I'm not your legal type of fella, Moet drinking, certain plant smoking, street dweller, who's always on the corner, the brutalizer, the crudicizer, accelerator, the type of brother who be pissing in your elevator. Take a second and think of how speaking to an audience like this creates a relationship between Nas as a character, as our personal narrator and tour guide through the streets of Queensbridge projects in New York, and us as listeners. You can almost imagine getting a tour through the hood with this character Nas as he drinks Moet, smoking that stuff, and while your back is turned looking around the block, and he takes a leak in the elevator. Let's hear Nas describe to another professor, noted Professor Michael Eric Dyson, how he cultivated this character to be both relatable on the one hand, just a normal guy chilling in the hood and drinking, and menacing by the descriptions of the more degenerate behaviors he lived in his youth.
It is amazing because you are considered the most above ground, underground artist, so to speak. You've got tremendous appeal right across the board. You're on the top of the charts, and yet you're still seen as a rapper's rapper, as an MC's MC. How are you able to balance that out by talking about all the themes you do on the one hand, but interjecting the politics on the other hand?
I think people can relate to just a normal guy. Yeah, there's some flash with the things I do. That's rap music, is about bragging and talking about things that the average person doesn't have or live. And, you know, but I think people see that regular guy in me and they hear it in my music. And I think, you know, I humanize myself all the time in the music, and I think that goes a long way.
Therefore, the first step to understanding how Nas comes up with rap lyrics is to find the relatable aspects of the persona he develops and peppers them in with classic bragging and menacing descriptions as he does on Illmatic. If you're interested in learning how to rap yourself, or you're already a rapper, click the first link in the video description to pick up our free step-by-step video course, How to Write a Rap on Any Topic in 20 minutes or less. But let's dive a little deeper into the lyrical framework that inspired Nas to build his character in step number 2, motivate the character. Now, you see in the beginning of rap, much of the lyrics of the genre were split into 2 different categories. Look at what we have and look at what we don't have. Look at what we have is braggadocious, look at my Cadillac rap in tracks such as the first major hip-hop release, Rapper's Delight. Look at what we don't have is social commentary about the urban environment, raps such as The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. While both of these are still main lyrical staples for rap today, it wasn't until the seismic shift of a rapper like Rakim that philosophical rap really began, meaning more like Here's why I do what I do. Think about arguably Rakim's most iconic lines from 1987's Paid in Full. Thinking of a master plan, cause ain't nothing but sweat inside my hands, so I dig in my pocket, all my money spent, so I dig deeper but still coming up with lint. So I start my mission, leave my residence, thinking how could I get some dead presidents? I need money, I used to be a stick-up kid, so I think of all the devious things I did. Here we see a rapper that isn't just saying he has a nice car or that he lives in a hood. Rakim is taking the listener through a storyline of his motivations through the character that he's building in the rap. Rakim, in fact, is such a major influence on Nas that he literally has the song. Nas has a song dedicated to Rakim called The Unauthorized Biography of Rakim. Now, in Nas's case, an excellent example of his motivate the character tactics come on the first few lines of Life's Up featuring AZ. I woke up early on my born day. I'm 20, it's a blessing. The essence of adolescence leaves my body, now I'm freshened. My physical frame is celebrated because I made it 1/4 through life, some godly-like thing created. The imagery of expressing his gratitude for his youth and visualizing his success as already having occurred is a crucial step of how Nas came up with lyrics back then and how he still does to this day. One crucial way Nas is able to show his character motivations is by describing them as they change in the environment, explained in the next step, move the character through time. Now, many would consider Nas to be the greatest storyteller in rap history due to his ability to tell a complete film-level story in a 3 to 4 minute song. The way Nas is able to do this is by not only establishing and motivating his characters as described in the previous steps, but by having the characters in his story move through a series of events in their life through time on the track. Take a minute to re-listen to NY State of Mind Part 2, Verse 2, where he describes the destruction of his crew of friends in his hood over time. Had 8 partners growing up, 8 turned to 7, 7 turned to 6 brothers, got 2 in heaven, 6 of us holding it, now it's 5 rolling thick, the 6th one's parole flip. 5 brothers went to 4 quick. Now this verse continues until finally a crew of 8 people goes down to 3 over the course of less than 12 bars. How does Nas accomplish this intricate storyline in such a short set of lyrics? By quickly moving his characters through time. 2 of his friends died, which left 6 to move on. However, then the 6th one went to jail and so on. Therefore, one of the main ways Nas comes up with lyrics is that he places characters he's established in his raps into chronological narratives that can demonstrate change while making it rhyme. By clarifying little details such as the 6th friend had his parole flip, Nas is adding little details to help build the universe, as we said, as described in step number 4. Small details make big descriptions. One thing that separates Nas from other rappers is how many details in a situation he can describe in a short period of time. Whereas most rappers will just say, "We out in Vegas ballin'," Nas will start a rap, Pacino Life, Gia Roll, Casino Dice, at the Mirage, Vegas Strip, neon lights, gamblers, puffing cigars, couples and stars, flashing cameras, dealers, shuffling cards. In 4 short bars, Nas has not only specified where he has described Vegas down to a level that even someone who's never been there could visualize and truly feel exactly what it's like. Now, what we've just quoted is the beginning of one of Nas's best story raps, and arguably one of the greatest stories in rap history overall, Undying Love. In that particular track, which details Nas's unexpected discovery that his girl is cheating on him, there's a portion of the song where Nas describes what it was like for him to walk through the door of his house after he gets back to Vegas. "I walked through the back door entrance, shocked it was unlocked. When I walked in, I smelled incense, chased by a aroma, empty Guinnesses and lipstick marks on like 3 empty Coronas, a pair of blue jeans on the carpet, size 12 Timberlands, something swinging on the ceiling fan. I stopped it, swinging slower and slower. On the last swing, I saw it was a G-string and heard laughing." Do you notice the amount of minute detail that's being described here? Do you see that by writing lyrics this way, it's basically film novel level writing down to describing the size of his enemy's shoes and the image of his girl's G-string on the ceiling fan swinging slowly as he discovers her infidelity. As the saying goes, the devil is in the details, and by placing these minute details in his stories and even regular songs, Nas shows one of the best ways to be considered a living lyrical legend is not by always following that less is more principle. And step number 5 is answer where do we go from here. And lastly, on top of all of his descriptive raps, we would be remiss to not mention his prescriptive, in other words, what should our people do to rise up? reps. When you listen to a song like I Wanna Talk to You or I Can or What Goes Around, you can hear not only a rapper describing the problems of his community, but actually offering solutions. This is one overlap that Jay-Z and Nas have had over the years despite their previous beef and eventual collaborations. Jay-Z often answers where do we go from here by offering economic solutions and ways to get your paper up to affect change, while Nas often answers where do we go from here questions by offering history lessons, saying we need to work on ourselves, the community, and support our brethren. Both ways of seeing things have merit to them, and therefore someone who wants to be a rapper or is interested in part of what makes Nas's lyrics so intriguing and frankly refreshing, one place to look is that he doesn't just rap about what's going on in the hood. He has many notable tracks where he gives his 2 cents, unlike most rappers who just collect a check, brag, and go home. Now, if you enjoyed this video, we have a Nas biography in depth which you can view by clicking on the screen, or if you're more interested in learning the science of how rappers come up with lyrics, we'll also add another video that analyzes the writing of rappers like J. Cole, Lil Wayne, Eminem, and much more. Appreciate you watching. It's the big homie Drew here for How to Rap. See you on the next one.